switch and extend out.
And now Wall for the win!
Good evening and welcome to the 2010 draft at Madison Square Garden in New York City. With the first pick in the 2010 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select John Wall from the University of Kentucky.
Very easy. Puts down the easy jam. 2 of his 13 later in the first. Here's Wall, getting it going a little bit, the youngster.
Wizards turn it over. Jennings blocked by Wall. Wall takes it inside and hammers it home. John Wall. Takes it inside and hammers it home.
The Washington Wizards have agreed to a 5-year extension with point guard John Wall worth $80 million. Wall missed nearly half of the 2012-2013 season due to knee surgery. Skip, is he worth it?
Stephen A. Smith, John Wall is not nearly worth the equivalent of a max contract. I've said this since John Wall was at Kentucky. He is very overrated to me as a pure point guard. Again, we are looking at a very talented, athletic two-guard who's sort of having to play point guard. He is not a gifted distributor of the basketball. I don't think he's a great leader of a basketball team.
You go back there. We understand you got one foul, but don't let him just lay it in like that.
I know John a little bit personally, and I like him personally. And I don't want to condemn the young man here on the big payday that I'm sure he would think that he deserves, and God bless him for that. But long term, I think that the Wizards committing this much money to this player as the face of their franchise will mire them in longer term mediocrity at best.
I think you're completely wrong, Skip Bayless, for a multitude of reasons. Number one, first of all, as far as I'm concerned, he's owed $80 million for pain and suffering being associated with the inept Wizards over these last few years, who've given him very little to nothing to absolutely work with, number one. Number two, you have to remember that he's been injured himself, but when healthy, this dude is a speedster. He can get it done. He's got tremendous athleticism along with an upside. Number three, and more importantly, because Gilbert Arenas basically decimated that franchise by acting like the clown that he acted like, with having guns in the locker room and all of this other stuff. It's basically been an entirely rebuilding process. He hasn't had much around him to work with. You take all of those things into consideration. You have to look at his youth and the fact that the Wizards were in a position where they had no choice, because you don't have anybody clamoring to come and play for you. You've got to hold on to the assets that you have until you can position yourself to do other things. You've got John Wall, you've got Bradley Beal, you've got Otto Porter Jr. out of Georgetown you just drafted. It's a very, very young team. The one guy with a shell of experience who has the talent to make a significant contribution in other places is the one guy that you have to hold on to. So I think he's overpaid, and I get your point. He may not have deserved $80 million on its face. But I'm saying if you're the Wizards, you had to overpay to keep him because you don't have anybody clamoring to play for you, and John Wall can play. Let's be clear about that.
Score.
He is no scrub. He's got an upside. He's got an upside. He really does.
Do you love him as the quarterback of your offense?
Based on what's available out there, yes, Skip. I'm saying he can make things happen. It's a guard-oriented game.
It's up-tempo. Best you can do.
What? It's the Wizards. Yeah, that's the best you can do, but I'm saying that take all of that aside, I think he's worth $55 to $60 million based on his talent. Did they overpay him by about $20 million because they're the Wizards? Sure.
It's just 20. No big deal.
Bottom line, it comes down to there's
It is for
varying
them.
degrees of franchise players, so there should be varying degrees of paydays. Let's move on to a franchise player in the NFL as we start our final take.
Rapid fire.